Hello, welcome back to the another virtual class of political science. So today we are going to continue with the same topic, that is the organs of the government, and within the organs of the government we are going to discuss about functions of executive. So in the previous class we discussed about different types of executives like nominal executive, real executive, okay. So all those things we have already classified in the previous class. So today we will discuss particularly focusing on some of the important or the major functions of the executive, which is performed by the executives all over the world, whether it is a parliamentary government or a presidential government. So these are some of the major things which has to be done by the executives, okay. So the first and foremost important function of the executive is policy making. Policy making is one of the most important function of executive. So let me tell you, explain you clearly in a parliamentary system and in a presidential system. Okay, in a parliamentary system, the entire process of policy making is in the hand of the government, which includes the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, and they are held by the non-political executives. They are known as bureaucrats. So we'll, after completing this, we'll discuss even about those civil servants and all and their role, and we'll try to differentiate between the political executive as well as the non-political executives, that is the bureaucrats. Okay, so with the help of non-political executives known as bureaucrats, policy is being framed. Okay, whatever required data are provided by the bureaucrats, and after that policy making is done by the executives. That means whoever are the one in the government, they form the policy because they have been chosen by the government to rule the country. So ruling means framing policies and looking after the administration and to come up with different policies which suits the nation as well as to uplift the economic development of the country. So all those things are completely in the hands of the executive. So first and foremost important function of the executive is to make policies. Okay, that is to make policies. This is the one. Okay, so policy making. So as you, let me remind you again, we are discussing mostly about the function of the executive. Okay, functions of the executive. Now next important function of the executive is implementation. So definitely once the policies are being framed, made, okay, checked, okay, now the turn is to implement it. So who makes the policies? The government makes the policy. Who are in the government? The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are there. Okay, so let me clear you one more thing. Executive in the sense that in India we have a federal form of government, right? Two forms of government are the union government is there as well as state government is there. So in each and every state governments also there also the role of executives are there. In every Vidhan Sabha government is there, and the government means those elected people, and the executives are also there, like a chief minister is there, right? The council of ministers are there, so they are the one to frame the policies, and also that is applicable in that case also. So once the policies are being made, it has to be implemented. So implementations are done by the executives with the help of the bureaucrats once again. Okay, that is very important. So each government department, different government departments are there, and that it is their responsibility for the implementations of laws concerning the functions of that department. The particular department, their main duty is to implement the policies. Okay, that is their responsibility. Okay, so for maintaining law and order in the state, okay, the executive organizes and maintains police force. So with the help of police force, all the executives, they properly organize it and they maintain law and order in the state or in the country with the help of police. So every state government, they had their own police. So here I am not focusing mostly on Indian parliamentary system. Even in the presidential system, the executives implement those policies and organizes it properly with the help of police force. Okay, so it is the duty of the executives. So whenever I talk about executive, you must include both political executive as well as non-political executives, because political executives, they come for 5 years and they go, but the non-political executives are the real executives who in real matters run the administration. They are the real one who run the administration of the country. But they are just they are guided, or let us say that just ahead what they say, and that is done by the non-political executives, who are known as fixed officers, bureaucrats or civil servants. So preservation of peace at home through the enforcement of law. So in order to maintain and enforce peace within the state, within the country, so executive has to function smoothly in coordination with the other different bodies of the executives. Okay, so each government is headed by a minister. As we all know, each government is headed by a minister, and the day-to-day work is carried out by expert and trained civil servants. So I use the word here, trained civil servants. In our country, I think sometimes I feel that how these illiterate people, they become a minister. They don't have any idea, but still they become a minister. So once they become a minister, how do they run? How do they frame policy? How do they run the administration? Actually, the entire work of the executives, those political executives, are done by the civil servants. And these civil servants, my dear, they are very, very expert and trained. You might have heard about civil services and all. After completing my graduation, or after completing my this degree, I want to join the civil service and all, government jobs and all. So for that you have to sit for the exams and all. Civil service examinations are conducted in West Bengal. WBCHSE is there, right? West Bengal Civil Service Examination is there. UPSC is there, Union Public Service Commission is there. So in order to pass out their examination, my dear, you need to work very, very hard. So that means when you pass that exam, means you are fully in, that means you get all the knowledges, because you study history, geography, arithmetic, every different subjects are there, which is included little in that course. And after completing, after passing out from all these exams and all, you will be given a training. So these people who get the job are well trained and they are expert in the particular field. It is not that this we call angotas, half netas, they become the minister. A person who never went to school becomes an education minister. A person who does not know about the law, they become a law minister. So this type of things happens in our country, my dear. So very soon, my dear, the youth of the country will demand qualifications required to become the member of the parliament. Educational qualification definitely will be asked. So implementation we were discussing about. So this implementation of the policies are being done by the executives with the help of the civil servants. So in actual sense, who does the entire work? The civil servants. Okay. Now next one more I have mentioned it over here. Whether it is required or not, that is not important, but let us know about this also. That is the appointment making. Appointment making. So you know that all the high dignitaries of the states are appointed by the president, we say, no? Sometime I might have told you that all the high dignitaries of the states are appointed by the president, but actually you know that president follows the advice of the prime minister and the council of ministers. Okay, real executives are the one deciding everything. So all the major appointments are made by the chief executive. For example, the President of India appoints the Chief Justice of India, okay, the judges of Supreme Court, High Courts, ambassadors, Advocate General of India, members of Union Public Service Commission, okay, governors of state. So likewise, President of United States, okay, makes a very large number of key appointments. Many of the appointments are done by the President of America. But one thing we must remember, that the President, while appointing the dignitaries, definitely need to get the approval of the Senate. Okay, the next one you can see here is defense. So in order to defend the country, it is the responsibility of the government, it is the responsibility of the executive to defend the country. Right, when to take the right decision. Right now you can see that China, there is a problem with China and all, so that decision will be taken by the prime minister as well as the entire council of ministers. They will take the decision. If required, we are ready for the war. We can declare war on China also, right? So if they If they declare war on India, on us, then what will be our stand? We have to defend our country. So defense is our first priority. So defense priority is also being kept by the executives at the top level. So defending the country is also one of the most important function of the executive. So like a war took place, and after the war, after that war came to an end, after each and every war agreements are signed, right, and that signing are also done by the executive. So though we know that in India, in a parliamentary system, the agreements are signed by the what you call it, prime minister and the council of ministers, but in the name of the president. As a whole, our country is run in the name of the president. So that is something different, but treaty making, agreements and all are signed by the real executives, but in the name of the president. Okay, hope you are understanding it. Okay, so that is all about defense. So as this also I discuss treaty making. So treaty means agreements with different countries. What type of treaties should be we should conclude with China, America is there, Russia is there. Okay, so in this way we have a number of countries all over the world with whom we have very good relations, and with some countries we don't have relations also, but still sometime we make an agreement, right? Trade agreements are there, nuclear deal is there. So deal, agreement, all these are same. So without agreement nothing is possible. So all these decisions are taken by the executives. Okay, now our next topic is the foreign policy making. Foreign policy. So first of all, I'd like to make you understand what is meant by foreign policy. So every nation has their own policy to deal with our neighbors or with other nations of the world. Like we live in a society, we live in a neighborhood, and we keep different relationship with different neighbors. With some neighbors we are very good, and with some neighbors we don't even talk also, we don't like their behavior also. Whenever we are in need, some of our good neighbors, they come and help us, and we go and help them. The same way, relationship, what type of relationship should we maintain with foreign nations, that is also one of the most important priority of each and every governments of the world. Okay, and that is known as foreign relations, and foreign relations is to be maintained in a proper way, and in a proper term we can use it as foreign policy. So two types. First one is domestic policy, that policy is for our own within our nation, like you say policy making, implementation of policy. So that is all for the day-to-day working of the government, day-to-day functioning of the administration are to be looked after by the executives. Police is there, they maintain law and order, traffic rules, these, that, lot of things are there within the country, lot of problems are there, so that are to be managed by them properly. Now making foreign policy, that is also very important. Like if I give you the example of our country, my dear, from the day one of our prime minister who assumed assumed the office, his main intention was in developing foreign relations. That is why even today he goes on for tour, he goes to different countries of the world, talks with them, tries to maintain good relation with them, and invites them to come and invest in our country, so that a foreign investment will bring lot of employment for our country. Relation. So definitely, my dear, when you maintain good relations, when you make a good foreign relations with those countries, they will definitely help you whenever you are in need. So foreign policy is to be made by the executive. Like the head of the family is the one who decides what should be the role of the family, right? What to do, what not to do, what is good for our nation, that will be decided by the executives. In the presidential form of government, like in America, or that is in USA, President of America is the one who decides or formulates the foreign policy of the country. Hope you all understood, your understanding also. Okay, so this is all about foreign policy that we have done now. Okay, next one we have is lawmaking. So you know that lawmaking is also one of the most important function of the executive. So normally when we discuss the legislature, there we discuss laws are passed in the legislature, but who all are there in the legislature? So these executives are there, right? The process of lawmaking which takes place in the parliament, okay, so in that process the member of legislature are involved. The member of the government are also involved. Those who are just the member of the parliament, they are also involved. First reading, second reading, third reading, the entire policy reading and all of the draft are being done. Debate goes on, discussion goes on. All these are performed in the legislature. But mostly law making, what type of law is required? the drafting and all, what all points should be required. So that will not be discussed with the member of the parliament. These are done by the executives. These are done by the prime minister, or he will give that duty to a particular minister. Okay, you draft everything, a new requirement I require, I'll just speak out my idea, and that he will frame it properly in a draft. And after the draft is been ready, he will come and discuss in the parliament. Debate will go on. Opposition will say no, this is not right, this is wrong, this has to be amended. Then the process of passing in the Lok Sabha will go on, and then again the bill will go to Rajya Sabha. So these are the processes which goes on. But the most important thing what I am trying to say is that the decision of law making is in the hand of the executive. So in a parliamentary system, so it is in the hand of the prime minister and the council of minister, and in the presidential system that is done by the president. So though in a presidential system the president is not the member of the House of Representatives, so how does he do? Okay, so he conveys the message to the parliament that this type of law is required, and his friends or whoever are the members of his party in the House of Representatives or the Senate, they will frame the policy. Though lawmaking will take place in the parliament, okay, but the real executive, who is the real executive of America? President is the real executive. The president is not the member of the parliament. So how does the law takes place? Making of law will continue. So he will convey the message to the parliament. Okay, that will be done. It will be done properly. And finally, finally, after being passed from both the houses, the draft bill will come to the president. So president definitely wanted that only, right? So if he finds everything is okay, he will pass it and he will sign the bill, and that will become a act. Okay, so laws are made in the parliament. So law in the first phase, those are in the form of draft, and once those draft are being passed by the draft or bill, so once it is passed by the houses, it goes to the president. After signed by the president, it will become a act. Okay, so that is the law making process of the executive. So hope you are understanding. So I'm trying to make it clear. That is why the video is becoming little bit lengthy. So have patience and please watch it. Watch it till the end. Don't skip any of the parts. Okay, so just one time you have to watch it. So once you have watched it, you don't have to repeat it again, and I'm sure that you'll understand what I am trying to explain you. Okay, then the next one we have is judicial functions. So what are the judicial functions of the executives? Okay, in a parliamentary as well as, why I'm saying parliamentary and presidential, because executives are same but are performed by different executives throughout the world. In a parliamentary system, prime minister and the council of ministers are the one real executives, and in a presidential system, the president is there, who is the real executive head of the country. So this is how those executives perform. So next one we have is judicial function. So judicial function, like the appointment of judges. First of all, let me give you, in a parliamentary system, those judges are appointed by the president, but in actual term, the decision is made by the real executive, that is the prime minister and the council of ministers. So let me tell you, the appointment of judges by the executive is regarded as the sound method which can ensure independence of judiciary. So in almost all the democratic countries of the world, the chief executive has the power to appoint the judges. In almost all the democratic countries of the world, the chief executive has the power to appoint the judges. Further, the head of the state has the right to grant pardon. Like, what is the meaning of grant pardon? Like the Supreme Court has announced a death sentence to the accused, right? Final decision is Supreme Court has declared pronounced death sentence. Now still there is a chance that you can request to the president, you can request to the executive, the head of the country, okay, regarding pardon. If it is death sentence, you may sometime, if the president is convinced that no, okay, let me reduce his punishment, then he can reduce it to lifetime imprisonment. If you are given lifetime imprisonment, then that can be reduced, few of the years from lifetime imprisonment can be reduced, 5-6 years reduction can be done. So that is done by the the executives of the country. Hope you all have understood it. So the class has become little lengthy for you all. So anyhow, you must be ready to sacrifice certain minutes for your benefit only. So hope you all have understood. So this much for today. We'll meet again in next class. Till then, stay safe, take care, bye bye.